My Love of Life Energy is a podcast created by Anna Scott. Anna knows that every human being sees life uniquely. In this podcast, she will talk to people and learn from them. These conversations are to shine the brilliance of each human being she speaks to. Join her. After each exploration, you will expand on your insights and see truth and beauty.
Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to my podcast, My Love of Life Energy. And in continuing the series with Molly Lynch. Welcome, Molly.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Anna.
And today we are continuing to talk about the gene keys. Each week we pick a gene key and then we come together and we contemplate and explore it. And today is the 46 gene key, correct?
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
The 46 gene key goes from seriousness is the shadow. So should we talk about, and then we'll just say what they all are. The gift is light, the gift I just delight, and then ecstasy is the Siddhi. So what do you see about seriousness?
What I saw in my contemplations this last week is that this whole thing is much more hilarious than it is serious, this whole situation of mystery. And it's like turning down, it's like turning the shadow of seriousness. It's like turning off the energy of that ability to see through the heart, experience through the heart, perhaps.
When I read this gene key, I think it was a week ago Friday, I wept.
Yeah, that was that moment for you.
And it shook up my whole day because what I read, I don't know if it was really in the book, the Gene Keys book, was that the 46 gene key is part of the codon ring of matter, and it's how human being bodies are formed, and that our children, like the seriousness is about being afraid in our body. Am I safe? Do I feel safe in my body?
Yeah.
And when I answered that question, I realized as a parent, I never felt safe. I didn't know what safety felt like. My mother didn't show it to me. Like we were all running around like a chicken with our heads cut off. And thus I've just perpetuated this seriousness or this fear or not feeling safe in the body with my kids. Innocently.
Right. So the safety is a structure of the seriousness is a structure of making sure we're safe. Like if we have everything in order and we're very serious and contained, then then we're safe. We don't want to leak joy though, because that might allow the structure to fall apart or delight.
Well, and it's like, the mind it's not the mind that has to feel safe. It has to be at a cellular level.
Physical, yeah.
In my body.
Got it. So how is that serious?
Say more. Ask again. What do you mean?
Well, the frequency there of like that, that correlation. How is that in that frequency? Since we're speaking of the shadow, how is that resonating?
Well, if I feel it, let's see. I don't know. I got to check. I feel it's like a deep constriction of energy. Like I want to conserve the energy. I don't feel safe, so I've got to hold on to it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. To make sure, to make sure everything's going to stay in place. And it's like guarding, like a seriousness is like the guard watching out for you.
Well, it's the programming partners, the 25th, which is constriction, acceptance, and universal love. I think that's it.
Yeah.
It's to feel that constriction in my body because I don't feel safe.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
but that's part of my human condition.
To be serious. But of course, when we're born, when we're kids, like you said, there is this, you know, I think kids are pretty not serious in a lot of ways. They're goofy as ever. Like, they're just bumbling along and there's no seriousness. They're like little comedy shows. So it's fascinating how that, even if it is like a physiological in the cells to be protective via seriousness, what would it take to have to constrict into that? You know?
When it's like Richard talks a lot about the evolution of humanity. And I think it's just seeing it like that seriousness and that constriction. Oh, this is really interesting, is to see that that was put into humanity, like it was given at birth. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. As a rich soil for delight to grow out of.
Yes.
So I see like the purposeness of that.
Say more.
Well, we're saying the same thing essentially. Like it's on purpose that seriousness was placed as a frequency in our human experience.
Mhm.
Like all of the shadows and like all of the gifts, like Richard always says, the gift is in the shadow.
Right. It says once we see it,
Mhm.
and if I feel it, like I
Mhm.
can feel the constriction, and if I allow it, then
Mm.
what naturally emerges is the delight.
Because
It's just part of life.
but it's sort of like a smile, like from going from like a frown to like a smile. It's so direct, and that's why in some like meditation practice and whatnot, there's a smiling element, like smile within your heart. So wait, if we're feeling too serious, how do we release some of that constriction with humor, with smile, with delight?
Well, so this is what I'm seeing, what I just felt right now.
Yeah.
The how is the mind to do it. It happens naturally when I allow the constriction.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Say that again.
When I what I just felt when we were talking, I could feel my constriction.
Mhm.
Like like those two fingers in the Chinese game where you put your fingers in that little toy.
Yeah, and you pull it out. Yeah.
Right. But if you relax, it just naturally relaxes with you and there's more space. So the
Yes.
minute I noticed my constriction and just allowed it,
Mm-hmm.
it was like there was space for the energy to flow through, and I just started to feel my delight.
And you started laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple of moments in the last week where I saw something and I looked at it in two different ways. One was like, first I got like all irritated about something and was serious and like like the judgment comes in or whatever, but that's a serious energy too, the constriction of judgment. And then I just thought myself, I was like, who do you think you are, joker? Like like let it go. And it was like hilarious to me that I could be so in one instant so irritated, in the other instant this part of me that just doesn't want to hold on to that shit anymore, excuse my language, but just let it go, but notice it, and there's a crack in that moment.
Mm.
So it's do I want to stay constricted, or do I want to release and let some bubbles go? You said. But then out of delight, we
Mm.
have the big old city of ecstasy. That's a big word. Speaking of words.
I I've been like right now I can kind of feel it.
Hmm.
like not totally, I'm not totally carried away, but like I imagine consciousness is this square.
Hmm.
And inside of it, that's like the formless, timeless,
Hmm.
eternal part that's in me,
Hmm.
that's all around me, but it's not bound by time. And my
Hmm.
body is a triangle or a circle in that square. And when I go to the square and kind of imagine it,
Hmm.
like right now, I just kind of, I just start to feel it all.
You're over there making sacred geometry. That's what
Oh,
I see.
that's so interesting. I didn't see that.
Like you're putting squares with triangles and turning them and starting to build a design of something, it feels like, right?
It just is a way that I can imagine.
Hmm. Like there's a freedom here.
Say more.
I just feel like from delight, which is already just ecstatic by nature. I mean, it's the delight of existence, the delight of beauty, the delight of connection, and then sort of automatically, if that's a sustainable frequency, which it can be, depending on where we put our attention, I'm sure too. But, it's always again, always available. It just kind of keeps going. Like you're saying, the ecstasy to me it's open at the top where the light comes in, and it's also this sort of opalescent, translucent thing going on. It's very high frequency and beautiful and fun, there's a joy to it.
And I think well, I think, God, where go my thinking?
Therefore, you love
Um,
it.
it's like that's one
Mm.
way to experience consciousness
Hmm. Hmm.
is through this ecstasy feeling. Like that's how some souls or some people will experience it in their bodies.
Right. There's a lot of spaciousness too. Like I've noticed more and more, like the vastness or spaciousness of the Siddhic field, the expansive quality. The even in the visual, to me, it's always like a peak energy. And in from where we just went from constriction, it's very like also like root chakra, and then it in the seriousness, it's like very like when you as I'm reflecting, like it's a protective quality to physiology, to primal existence.
And I just see the beauty of it.
Hmm.
It's like it's kind of what do I see? It's like it feels like a chocolate covered strawberry.
Which are just the best that one of the best things ever created.
But it's like there's this in the seriousness, like the protection of this beautiful energy. But if I inside of it is this beautiful, juicy, alive energy. And I need to just feel the constriction. If I do, then that juice starts to seep out.
Right, which would be the chocolate and the strawberry. And
Mixed together.
fun. We used to, I used to, my wife and I used to have parties, here and there. But one time we had a chocolate fountain
Mm.
at a couple of them. We just set it up and we had all kinds of like fruits and this and that and, marshmallows, and it was great. And every skewers. So everybody's dipping, and it just turns into a frenzy of delight.
Oh,
Because how
wow.
could you not love warm chocolate on any kind of like, sweet or salty item? And
Yeah.
and there is a level of, how when we allow ourselves to have the sweetness of life, to taste the sweetness of life, let's say, through beauty or experience, it's like that's the ecstatic feeling. And that's my experience. It's like there's this like, oh my God, I can't even believe how amazing this is.
Yeah, I get to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'm beginning, my old body, the more I soften my heart,
Mm.
soften like my thinking, and like I just start to feel the ecstasy in my body just by being alive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like the energy of life is ecstatic.
Yeah,
The ecstatics, yeah. Mm.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is really beautiful.
I think that's the beauty of pausing and contemplating like this, is that we get to, like for me, it's like, oh, I remember this. It's in here.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like playing with the frequency, like the way that you were with the seriousness and the way that you started to notice it needed just to feel safe. And then that opened the door to your delight. It's sort of like those little keys that unlock and pivot and break through in the pause.
Mm. Oh, Richard Rudd would be so proud of you right now.
You think?
Oh God, you just nailed the whole thing. Pause, pivot, breakthrough, whatever,
I
like
know it
the
just
tree.
kind of came through, but I saw the book in front of my face. Yeah, I like this one a lot.
I do too. It made me forgive myself. Like I couldn't do anything else for my children because I didn't know.
Right.
But I do know that as I soften and feel safer and am more delightful, they get it still. Like it's
Yeah,
not too late.
right. You like the frequency now. It's like your energy you're bringing now is that there's safety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not too late. So I think we're good on this one, right?
I think so.
But we invite you, if anybody hears this and they like what they're hearing and they want to come sit with us the third Thursday of the month. We sit for an hour, we meditate, and then we contemplate a gene key and we explore together. And then we
Mhm.
get to feel this and remember it in our bodies. And we would love you to join. You can check it out at exquisitebeing.com.
Yeah.
Anything else, Molly?
Um, just have delight.
Beautiful.
You can have it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.